All right. Thanks, Rocky. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Casey. Next question is from Matt Charbonneau, the Detroit News.
Hey, Rocky, appreciate the time. You said you've been studying for this for the last month, and really, if you think about it, you've been kind of working towards this for the last couple of years at least. So you miss spring, you have the delays like this. I guess can you put into words what your thought process is when you're out on the field now and kind of that this is my time sort of approach to this thing, and how do you feel when you hear people say, "Oh, there's a quarterback battle at Michigan State"? Do you feel like I'm the quarterback and I'm going to prove to people that this is my job?
Yeah, so I've always felt like I've been the quarterback here. I've always felt like I've been good enough to play at this level, and I still feel like that, obviously. So, when I hear that stuff, it doesn't really affect me. There's nothing I can do about that. I just can't even think about it. So it's kind of on the back burner, so to speak, and it's not something that I really think about. But I'm sorry, what was the first part of your question?
Just kind of how you said you've been preparing for a month, but really, this has been a lot longer process.
Yeah.
Really for you.
Yeah, so obviously I've been preparing for this for a long time, and I even got some playing time in the last couple of years. But it's finally starting to come together, where I feel like I got a chance to go out there and play, and I feel like I got a chance to prove myself. And you talked about thinking. I think that's what you said is what are you thinking out there when you're playing? And for me now, it's more about doing. I've gotten to the point where I don't really have to think as much out there. I can go through. I got a couple things in my head, and then boom, I'm just playing. You just got to go out there and ball. It's really not about overthinking things or anything like that.
Next question is from Audrey Dahlgren of WLNS.
Rocky, thank you. I have a question in regards to your offense as a whole. What do you think that you guys need to work on the most to be prepared for that week 1 opener on the 24th against Rutgers?
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, that this offense is really talented. I think it's the most talented offense we've had, at least since I've been here. We got our O-line has come together. Our O-line's been the same O-line for the last 3 years. Now we're finally old, and, we got everybody going. We're big, strong. We know what we're doing. So I'm really excited to see what this offense can do. But, at the end of the day, it's just getting experience. It's, getting reps, building that chemistry with your teammates, on back shoulder throws, whatever, doing double teams on the offensive line. So it's all just about how well can you work together and how well can you execute game plan. So it just comes down to reps.
So do you mind if I have a follow-up real quick with that then? So going off of that, so when you look at, obviously, your offensive line, so then how much more confidence does that give you? You've worked with some of them before, but how much more confidence does that give you, going into week 1 in this shortened, condensed season maybe?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence, and I can see the confidence growing in them too, which is awesome because, they deserve to have that confidence. We've had a good O-line. We've had some injury problems, obviously, but we've had those players here, and we've had good O-lines and good games at O-line. And for them to finally have that confidence and be excited to go out there and play and work together as one unit, it lifts me up and it gets me excited to go.
Thank you.
Next question is from Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Rocky. What can you tell us about today and what that was like, what you guys were able to do, what you felt was productive and everything, and also looking forward? Obviously, the preparation for all this is just unusual. It's not the same at all. What do you guys know at this point about what the next couple of weeks will look like as you obviously get into game mode and everything? Will it look just sort of like a August camp, or is there some twists or something built into that, just given the circumstances?
Yeah, so we can't really do a fall camp because of school. Obviously we didn't have school in August when fall camp normally was, so we can have those endless hours. But now guys got classes and tests and exams, and it's just you can't practice as much as you would in August. So it's more of like a regular season type of vibe where you get the 20-hour work week and you lift in the morning and you go to practice in the afternoon and stuff like that. But it's definitely not fall camp. It's much shorter than that. But practice today, to answer the first part of your question, was awesome. Really high energy. It was supposed to be a little bit of a light practice, but there was a high tempo. Coach Tuck's not messing around now, man. He's getting us ready to go. He's motivated. We're motivated. So it was a good practice. Everybody's flying around. really excited to see what we got for this next week.
Thank you.
Next question is from Lindsey Huddleston.
Thank you, Ben. Hello, Rocky. I pose this question to both Athletic Director Bill Beekman and to your coach, Mel Tucker, about the social justice impact of what's going on. What is your experience like as a player and as a leader on the team? What has it been like from a social justice standpoint with everything that's happening in the world right now?
Yeah, I think it's been good for us to grow together a little bit on this issue. It's been talked about a lot. We've had a lot of team meetings over it. So just to open people's eyes up a little bit and really understand what's going on and understand what we can do, to help this issue and to make it better and make the world more equal and all that. But it's been good to I feel like it's brought the team closer together because it's messed up, man. Some things that are going on right now it's just not right. And especially for me as a leader, I feel like I've been trying to, get these guys to figure out how to make change and find a way to make change. So Coach Tuck's done a really good job with us about that. And our teammates as well have really stepped up and spoke about that a lot.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Next question is from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey, Rocky, when practice was initially halted and Mel said you guys were going back into the weight room, you got 5 weeks or whatever that was. I guess what were the gains you thought you made as a team making that shift and really focusing back in on strength and conditioning?
Yeah, that was a good little time for us because we didn't get as much lifting and conditioning in over quarantine because everybody's at home. We didn't have the facilities. There's a million excuses, whatever. But to get those 5 weeks was really important. I feel like we made a lot of strides. Coach Novak's awesome, by the way. He's unbelievable and does a great job. And we're making huge strides in the weight room and on the field with speed and agility stuff. But he's done a lot of good stuff with, jumping and explosion aside from strength that I feel like it's really helped us. You can see guys making better cuts and getting faster. Our running form's getting better. And it doesn't sound like much, but it can make a really big difference.
Thank you.
Next question is from Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Rocky, I wanted to ask when the schedule came out the other day, if you paid attention to that, if any of that jumped out to you, maybe Michigan in week 2 or something like that, or are you just in the position of, I don't care what the heck it is at this point, I just want to play games.
Yeah.
Not on that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt. It's just, man, I'm just excited to play. I knew we were going to play, a full Big Ten schedule or whatever, and you got 8 games and playing the whole East and 2 in the West. But who was on the schedule didn't really matter. We knew who was going to be on the schedule for the most part. The 2 West games were a toss-up, but we know who we're going to play and we know what we're going to do. So,
Thanks.
Next question is from Jason Lewis.
Hey, Rocky, thanks for joining us today. You mentioned the strength and conditioning aspect of what you got out of that 5 weeks, but, talking to Coach, just the fact that you got 5 weeks to still get to know this coaching staff, learn the offense more. I mean, how much beneficial was that side of it too, not just what you guys did in the weight room?
Yeah, it was huge. And not only in the last 5 weeks, but over quarantine. Not getting a spring ball hurt us in the sense of we lost some chemistry and we lost some I don't want to say we lost chemistry, but we didn't get the opportunity to build that chemistry and to get the on-field experience. But with all the Zoom meetings we had and all the plays we were able to install and the offense we were able to learn, it was really impressive, honestly, to see the guys really locking in, and we got a lot of stuff done, not only just these last 5 weeks, but over quarantine, about putting in the offensive playbook and understanding what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Rocky.
Next question is from Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Rocky, just sort of curious, like today, obviously the whole last few months have been weird with your season and everything. Was today sort of the most real it felt? Like, I feel like for sure we're going through with this, because earlier, you did have the schedule released the first time and things ended pretty quickly there, and over summer I don't think really anybody knew. Was today a different sense of like finally we're moving forward, or is it just kind of, maybe you've had that before, I don't know, just kind of could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, no, you're actually right. Today was the day. You could feel it in the air when you walked onto the practice field. It was a different sort of vibe. Even when they told us we were going to play last week, we had 2 workouts maybe, or 3, I can't even remember, but it still didn't even feel real, but when we showed up today for practice, you could tell the energy of the coaches, the energy of the players, it was different. So I think we're finally getting to the point where, this is real. We're going to play ball. So we got to get ready to go.
Thank you.
We have time for one more before Antjuan joins us. Colton Pouncey with The Athletic.
Hey, Rocky. I was just curious. I know you didn't have a spring and fall camp's kind of cut short, but in what ways do you feel like you've grown as a quarterback this past year?
Yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot with experience, and not only, and like you said, we didn't have a fall or a spring, so it's not really so much on-field experience, but to learn that playbook, like I was talking about earlier over quarantine, and to really study that film, I feel like I've gotten a lot more comfortable with who I am as a player and learning to use my strengths to my advantage. So, and then aside from that, I got a lot of good throwing work in. I feel like this is the best I've ever thrown the football. I feel comfortable in the pocket. My feet are quiet. I feel really good right now. So it's been a long time to finally get on the field, but I've never felt better.
Sounds great. Rocky, I really appreciate you taking the time after practice to join us today. We have Antjuan Simmons here shortly, so thank you for joining us, Rocky.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll get Antjuan set up here in just a minute.
And that question was for Antjuan, not Rocky.
Oh, okay. I got you. Antjuan, how you doing? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Sounds good. Well, once again, I appreciate Antjuan you joining us tonight. We just got out of practice, trying to get some food, trying to get back to your place and everything. So thanks for taking some time. We'll start with Casey Campbell, and we'll get it going from there. Casey?
Thanks, Ben. Hey, Antjuan, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be happy we were able to be back on the field today.
Yeah, I want to go into that a little bit. Rocky was talking about that. They were talking about this. It's kind of supposed to be like a low key kind of day, but now it was like more of a high tempo practice. What kind of differences do you see from this coaching staff compared to what you saw last year?
Well, I think just the fact that everybody's new. You know what I mean? Everybody's new. We're new to the coaches. They're new to us. So we're all getting to know each other. We're all seeing how the intensity we're going to bring, how we are as either coaches or players. So we're all learning, and we're all just excited to be out there. You can really feel the energy out there. Everybody wants to be out there. I'm talking about whenever you look to your right or left, it's a coach out there yelling with some type of excitement. He's either yelling that somebody just made a play or he's yelling at somebody for making a mistake. One of the two, you know what I mean? But, definitely the excitement, the new voices, the new faces, just all of that combined, it's makes every day like kind of like you don't really know what to expect, but it's going to be exciting. Yeah, and if I could follow up, Michigan and Michigan State, week 2, geared right in. That's got to get you. That's got to get you going. Oh yeah, but
week 2,
right off the bat.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, definitely. That's why you come here. Big games like that. It's not going to get any bigger than that. Right out the season, right out the gate. They're going to come ready to play. We're going to come ready to play. It's going to be a good game, So we're definitely excited. Definitely excited.
All right. Thanks, Antjuan. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks, Casey. Next question is from Matt Wenzel with M Live.
Hey, Antjuan, I was wondering when you first kind of got the sense that the season could be reinstated. What was your reaction to being officially reinstated, and what kind of conversations you have kind of leading up to that with teammates and coaches?
Well, it was kind of like hard to, believe everything that was, everywhere you looked, there was somebody reporting that the Big Ten was going to play. So it was kind of hard to believe everything. But me personally, I wasn't believing anything until the Big Ten officially released something, because prior to this, we saw people constantly saying meetings this or outcome is going to expect this, or you know what I mean. And sometimes that wouldn't happen. So it was hard to believe pretty much anything that was coming out in the media. So I just chose to believe with whatever the Big Ten was going to say. I just stayed ready. We kept working out. We kept running, doing everything we were supposed to do. So, I mean, the whole key during this whole time was just stay ready so you don't have to get ready when the time comes, you know. So that was just our whole thing.
Next question is from Lindsay Huddleston.
Hey, Antjuan, good to see you again. I've been 4 for 4 with this question to the athletic director, the coach, and your quarterback, Rocky, a moment ago. What role does social justice play for you from a mental toughness standpoint with everything going on, being back into play, the virus, but also the other issues you've been hearing about in both the NBA and the NFL? How does that impact you as a player?
Definitely impacts me. You know what I mean? I'm an African American myself, you know, so when these issues started happening, it was important for me to educate my teammates or educate coaches, whoever was around me, just of what was going on, how we can make the world a better place, how we can impact our community. And I think we did a very good job with that. Coach Tuck had different faces in front of us. We had meetings, just us players, how we could do things and talk to each other. And like we had a great players meeting. I think it was 3 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, about everything. And it was amazing. Just we had people who didn't really understand what was going on, speak up and speak where they were coming from. And we had other guys educating, guys who don't really speaking. So it was good. It really brought out the best of the team. I think that made us grow closer as a team.
Great. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Next question is from Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Antjuan. Hope you're doing well, man. I wanted to ask you about today's practice and just, which day one sort of what you guys got accomplished, what you liked about it, and also just looking forward, just hearing from Rocky, obviously it's not going to be a traditional sort of camp and run up to a season. How does that have to change things from your guys' perspective in terms of what you emphasize and how you guys sort of maximize all the time that you do get?
I think it's just important to just keep working, you know what I mean, and just being flexible. I mean, everything has been changing daily. We're finding out new stuff daily. So, I mean, at this point, it's just good to have some type of stability. Like, you know, we're playing this game. We're going to play this day. This is what we're shooting for. This is what we're going to do. So, I mean, it's good for that. But can you ask that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. But I wanted to ask about today, what you liked about just day one, and also just the sort of the difference of not having a traditional camp and fitting in as many practices as you can when you can, and just the differences of this year's sort of preseason as opposed to a normal one.
I think the big thing is definitely going to be the effort part, just getting in tip-top shape. Like I'm talking about like tip-top shape to a point where like you should be able to go all 60 minutes and be good. You know, every play you should be able to line up and go 100, 110 and give it your all. That's the goal. You know what I mean? That's what we're shooting for. Of course, it's hard right now. We're wearing splatter shields, the visors. So, I mean, it's hard to breathe. But, I mean, I personally think that's helping us, to be honest, because if it comes a day where our either athletic director or president says we can remove those visors, I believe we're going to be in great shape because because those things they're hard getting used to, but they're growing on us though. So it's definitely fun being out there, but the effort, the excitement, everybody is excited. You know, today's practice, of course, isn't going to be perfect. The first practice being back, not our first official practice, but of course, it's not going to be perfect. Got a few things to fix, but the effort, the excitement, talent, everything else is there. You know what I mean? We just got to keep working hard and showing up with a work mindset every day.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
This question is from Matt Charbonneau, the Detroit News.
Hey, Antjuan, I'm going to ask you more about your leadership role, and especially this year with everything being so different, with so much time off in the spring and everything you guys have gone through. How much has that been an emphasis for you to kind of live up to that role as a leader, to keep everybody together? And secondly to that, I wanted to see what your perspective was on Rocky Lombardi. You know, you guys came in at the same time, and now he's really kind of starting, it looks like, to emerge as one of those guys that's being a leader as well too. What have you seen from him in that aspect, and I guess how important has it been for you over these last few months?
Well, for Rocky, I've always been a Rocky Lombardi fan since we stepped foot on campus. You know what I mean? I've always rooted for Rocky. He's always been a guy that that people listen to when he spoke. You know, he's always been a guy that's done everything right. You know what I mean? Showed up to lifts on time. He worked his butt off. It's just the fact that he's playing behind Brian. Brian was he was a good quarterback for us. He was lights out, and so I mean, I don't know if there's too much Rocky could do in that situation, especially with Brian being a starter before and coming back. It would have been hard for Rocky to work his way into that role, but I think Rocky showed great leadership qualities, being that backup, you know, holding Brian accountable, holding his receivers, the other receivers, holding everybody accountable. And then for myself, I mean, I just love talking to everybody. I'm just one of those guys that if I walk past you in a building, I'm going to say what's up to you, or I'm going to say, like, what's crack-a-lack, and I'm going to mess with you, something. It doesn't matter who you are, coach, player, anybody. If I see you, I'm going to say something to you. So it's just important to me just having that relationship with everybody. And, I mean, you never know what somebody's going through. Sometimes just saying a hi, seeing how they're asking how their day is going might be the best part of their day. You know what I mean? So just little things like that just keep me going. I like to think about little stuff like that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Next question is from Audrey Dahlgren with WLNS.
Hi, Antjuan. Thank you. I just wanted to ask, or maybe you could give us a little inside look at practice in a sense, because Lombardi was saying that, you know, Coach Tuck's ready to go. And you mentioned the intensity aspect of it. So if you could rate maybe Coach Tucker on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to intensity, what would it be, and how infectious has that been during this time frame?
He's a 10 and probably plus some. He came out with his whistle wet and he was ready to go. He was blowing that whistle every chance he got today. So he was ready. It wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When he hit the sidelines, it was have your shirts tucked in, no razzle dazzle, none of that extra stuff, and be ready to go. Let's bring excitement, run to the ball, and he's holding everybody accountable, like every single person. Coaches have to run to the ball just like players do. It's insane, but practice is fast. Like, it's really fast. You know what I mean? The tempo, like, I don't know if it's a point where, like, we're not running. You know what I mean? If we're not running, we're standing there in between plays or in between a period because we don't have to go nowhere. And that's like a blessing. You know what I mean? We're always running somewhere on the jog, and he's on top of us too. He makes us go back if guys aren't running to the next spot. So practice is fast. The intensity is through the roof. You definitely have to come ready to go with the right mindset, or you'll quickly fall off the train.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like we have time for one more from Jason Lewis.
Hey, Antjuan. Obviously, having a new first-year head coach, not having spring ball and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure you would have wanted football season to start on time, but with this extra few weeks and now a few more weeks to prepare, what benefits has it been with that new coaching staff, whether it's learning and whatnot, that you could take advantage of this time building up for the start of the season?
I'm just learning, to be honest, just getting more comfortable with one another, getting more comfortable with each other, and really emphasizing the little things. You know what I mean? Finishing through the line. If you're out there really going, not being half speed or none of that, pulling your gun when you get the opportunity, and just just being a football player. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. But I'm sorry. What's your question? I'm sorry. It's just been a long day. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Just more about just the benefit of this extra time that you have to prepare with that new coaching staff and having to learn a new defense and everything.
Yeah, it's other than getting to know each other and emphasizing the little things, I say just continuing to learn the system. You know what I mean? It definitely has its wrinkles and its different things to it and stuff. But it's definitely fun. It's going to be fun to play in, and all the guys are excited about it. So we all just can't wait to play and continuing to learn and getting to know the process. So yeah.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sounds great. And it looks like all the time we have for questions tonight. Antjuan, thank you so much for joining us on short notice. Really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for joining us on short notice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Ben.
Thank you.
Appreciate